Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. Today's presentation is a little bit different from the session that we had on Saturday because people were exposing their stories and were very vulnerable. So I edited it out in order to respect their privacy. But the rest of the presentation stayed completely the same. I would like to congratulate you for attending today because it means that you are looking for a long term, serious relationship and you are willing to be intentional, conscious, and self aware about it. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Moshe Laniado Peleg. I'm married for almost 20 years now and I have two children. I'm a certified life and relationship coach with the Relationship Coaching Institute. My background is in entertainment. I used to be the head of global creative for brands like the History Channel, Lifetime, and A&E. And a few years ago, I made a career transition into relationship coaching because I am passionate about relationships and about helping people hitting their relationship goals. My clients are mostly singles looking for a long term relationship and couples that have challenges in their own partnerships. In today's presentation, we are going to uncover the most common relationship patterns that block single from finding long lasting relationships. We are going to learn how to recognize these patterns, how to break free from them, and how to move forward with confidence and intention. I also would like to mention that in this presentation, there are images that are diverse across race, age, and sexual orientation. And this is because love is universal and relationship challenges belongs to people from all backgrounds. So let's start. I'm going to share my screen. So, thank you again for being here today. I want to start by asking you a question. Have you ever find yourself in a relationship that looked great on the outside, but something inside felt off? Or maybe you have dated people where the chemistry was strong, but the relationship didn't last? So you are definitely not alone. We are often taught how to succeed in school or at work, but not how to build strong, lasting relationships. And yet, the partner you choose has one of the biggest impacts on your overall happiness and well being. In this presentation, we are going to talk about the hidden patterns that get in the way of finding a soulmate, and more importantly, how to break those patterns. I would like to share a quote of Jackson Brown Jr., who said, "Choose your life mate carefully. From this one decision will come 90% of all your happiness and misery." Now, this quote may sound dramatic, but it holds a deep truth. The person you choose to share your life with becomes your partner in everything: your daily routines, your dreams, your challenges, your values. They are your emotional home base. When things are going well in your relationship, the world feels more manageable. But when your relationship is filled with conflict, neglect, or emotional distance, it can cast a shadow over everything else. That's why choosing a life partner isn't just a romantic decision. It's one of the most strategic and emotional decisions you'll ever make. It affects your mental health, your physical health, your financial future, and how you show up in the world. The goal here is not to find someone perfect, it's to find someone compatible, respectful, emotionally available, and aligned with your values. Because the ripple effect of that choice shapes 90% of the joy or stress in your everyday life. As a relationship coach, I help singles and couples reach their relationship goals through a future focused, action oriented process. Unlike therapy, which looks to heal the past and address mental health, coaching assumes you are healthy and capable. My role is to guide you with powerful questions and practical strategies to align your actions with your values. That means breaking patterns, building connection, or preparing for commitment. People can benefit from both therapy and coaching, but if you are looking for a more future oriented, goal oriented, and action oriented approach, coaching is the way to go. Before we talk about the dating and relationship patterns, let's start with something important: knowing the difference between your requirements, needs, and wants. Most people skip this part. They date based on attraction, comfort, or pressure, but without real clarity, things often go wrong. So let's break it down. Requirements are deal breakers. These are your non negotiables. If they are not met, the relationship won't work no matter how much you love the person and how much you care for them. Example: if you want kids and your partner is 100% sure they don't, it doesn't matter how much you care for each other, the relationship will not work since it's not something you can compromise on. You either have kids or you don't. That's why wanting children is a requirement, not just a preference. If a partner doesn't meet your requirements, staying in the relationship will likely lead to frustration or separation later on. Being clear about your requirements doesn't mean you are picky. It means you are being honest about what really matters for your future. Here's another example. You need to be in a monogamous relationship, but your partner wants to be in an open one. This isn't something you can compromise on. If you value exclusivity and emotional safety, being with someone who doesn't share that value will likely lead to hurt and mistrust over time. That's why relationship structure, monogamy versus non monogamy, can be a requirement. It's about having the same vision for how love and trust work in a partnership. Needs are relationship essential. Needs are important for you to feel happy, safe, and connected, but they are not necessarily deal breakers. You can stay in a relationship when your needs aren't fully met, but it will probably feel draining over time. Examples of needs are feeling heard when you talk, feeling appreciated for what you do, feeling like your partner has your back. If your needs aren't met for a long time, you may feel like you are always giving more than you are getting. You might feel lonely, insecure, or start walking on eggshells. The problem is, many people don't know what their needs are, or they feel bad for having them. But here's the truth: your needs matter, and in a strong relationship, both people try to understand and support each other's needs. Wants are the nice to have. Wants are the little extras that make a relationship more fun or enjoyable, but they are not essential for the relationship to work long term. For example, you both love hiking or love the same kind of music. These things are great, but not critical or deal breakers. So why this is matters? When you don't know your own requirements and needs, you are more likely to settle for people who aren't a match, stay too long in relationships that drain you, repeat patterns that leave you hurt. Getting clear on your requirements, needs, and wants helps you avoid those traps. One more sentiment that I would like to share on why it is so important to get clear on your requirement, needs, and wants. Because when you don't have this clarity, it's easy to fall into a passive mindset, what I call living as the chosen. That means waiting to be picked or staying in a relationship just because someone chose you and not because they truly meet your deeper emotional and relational needs. But when you take the time to get crystal clear on what really matters to you, what's non negotiable, you begin to shift. You move from being the chosen to being the chooser. That shift is powerful. It's the difference between hoping someone likes you or asking yourself, do I actually want this? Does this work for me? Is this aligned with the life and love I'm trying to create? And that's the mindset I want you to hold as we walk through the pattern you may recognize in your own life. When you understand your patterns and your relationship criteria, you reclaim your power. You no longer wait to be chosen, you choose with clarity and confidence. As we move into the next part, I invite you to reflect on your past experiences. Which patterns have you found yourself in, and did they block you from finding a compatible partner? So, first, let me explain what a relationship pattern is. It's an unconscious choice or mindset that often leads to emotional pain. And the thing about pattern is they are usually repeatable. We tend to fall into them again and again until we bring awareness to them and then choose differently. In this part of the presentation, I will walk you through some of the most common patterns that block singles from finding and keeping strong, lasting relationships and how to break free from these patterns. The first pattern is the fairy tale pattern. This pattern based on the fantasy that true love will just happen on its own without any effort. You might believe that if you are patient and wait long enough, your perfect soulmate will magically appear. No need to do anything, just trust that the universe will bring you together. It's a beautiful idea, but one that can be misleading. This passive approach often leads to disappointment. While the idea of fate or destiny feels romantic, real relationships don't usually begin that way. If you're not actively meeting people, you can end up stuck and waiting for something that never comes. You might miss real opportunities because you are holding on to the idea of effortless magical love. The solution: take charge of your love life. Love doesn't just happen, you create it by being intentional. Get clear on the kind of relationship you want. When you stop waiting and start acting, you give yourself a real chance to find and build the meaningful connection you have been dreaming about. The scarcity pattern. This pattern comes from a deep fear that there aren't enough good people out there. You might start thinking things like, all the good ones are taken, or if I'm too picky, I'll end up alone. When you believe that love is rare, it's easy to start settling for less. You might stay in a relationship even when you feel unhappy, or keep trying to make something work just because you are scared you won't find anything better. This fear can lead you to accept relationships that don't feel good, and over time, it can leave you feeling burned out. The way to break free from this mindset is to start believing that there are people out there who are looking for the same kind of love. You don't need 100 options, just one person who truly fits. When you trust that the right match is out there, you stop acting from pressure or panic. You can slow down, listen to your heart, and make choices that actually feel right. And when you take the time to get clear about your non negotiable requirements, you'll be able to choose partners who are a better fit. You'll be able to be more selective instead of settling for something just because you are afraid that real love doesn't exist. The marketing and the packaging patterns. These are two sides of the same coin. One is about how you present yourself, the other is about how you perceived others. In the marketing pattern, you fear the real you isn't enough. So you put on a polished version of yourself. You're acting more confident, hiding vulnerability, or emphasizing success to be more attractive. In the packaging pattern, you are the one getting swept up by someone else's image. You are drawn to their looks, lifestyle, or curated persona rather than who they truly are. Both patterns create fake reality and disconnection and leave you feeling unseen or unfulfilled. The way out is radical authenticity, being real with yourself and others, letting go of the performance and focusing on emotional honesty, shared values, and genuine connection. That's when lasting love becomes possible. The next one is the compatibility pattern. This pattern is tricky because it feels so good in the beginning. You meet someone and things just flow. You laugh together, spend time easily, and hardly ever argue. Everything seems smooth and effortless. It's easy to think this must be right, we are so compatible. But real compatibility isn't just about having fun or getting along. Those things are great, but they are not enough for a relationship to last. True compatibility means you and your partner are on the same page when it comes to the big things, your values, your goals, your daily lifestyle, and how you communicate. If those deeper areas don't match, the relationship may feel good for a while, but over time it can become frustrating. You may still love each other, but you'll keep bumping into unmet needs. Eventually, the relationship can hit a breaking point, not because of a lack of love, but because the foundation for long term success isn't really there. This pattern is especially confusing because there are no obvious conflict early on. It feels calm, safe, and even ideal, but the absence of tension doesn't necessarily mean deep alignment. The solution: redefine what compatibility means to you. Remember, it's not just about how easy or smooth things feel at first. It's about sharing the same vision for the kind of life and relationship you want to build. When you lead with that clarity, you give yourself the best chance of building something real and lasting, not just something that feels good in the moment. The exclusivity pattern. This pattern happens when you move into exclusivity too quickly. You do it before you really know if the other person is right for you. After just a few good dates, you might decide or agree to be in a committed relationship, hoping it will naturally grow into something serious over time. It feels exciting and you don't want to lose the connection, so you lock it in fast. But when you rush into being exclusive, you skip the important part of dating: getting to know each other deeply and seeing if your values and relationship needs actually match. You go from dating to exclusive partnership without taking the time to truly evaluate if it's a good long term fit. Why does this happen? Sometimes it's the fear of being alone. Sometimes it's the pressure to settle down. Or maybe it just feels really good in the moment. But jumping in too fast can lead you to stay in relationships that aren't right. The solution: take your time before becoming exclusive. Let the dating phase be what it meant to be, a time to explore and ask questions. When you stay curious and intentional before becoming exclusive, you give yourself a much better chance of choosing a partner who is truly compatible for the long run. The sex pattern. This pattern happens when you let sex take the lead in your relationship. You might feel a strong physical connection and think, if the sex is great, everything else will work out. Sometimes people get emotionally attached after sex and assume it means that they are in a serious relationship. It happens even if they haven't really gotten to know each other. The problem is, sex can create a false sense of closeness. You might overlook important things because the physical connection feels so strong. So, what to do instead? Slow things down and focus on emotional connection first. Ask yourself, do I really know this person? Do they respect my needs, goals, and values? When you build a relationship on emotional compatibility, not just physical attraction, it has a much better chance of lasting. The rescue pattern. This pattern shows up when you hope a relationship will fix your life. Maybe you are feeling lonely, sad, or stuck. Maybe you have emotional or financial issues. You believe that being with someone will solve your problems. Or, on the other hand, you might meet someone who is struggling and you feel the urge to save them, thinking that if you help them enough, they will love you back. But relationships based on saving or being saved usually become one sided. You might give too much or lose yourself in trying to hold things together. So, what to do instead? A strong relationship happens when two people feel good and whole on their own, and then choose to build something together. Instead of looking for someone to rescue you, focus on creating a successful life on your own. Heal what needs to be healed and know your vision and your requirements. When you are strong and clear, you are more likely to attract someone who is strong and ready to grow with you. Don't become someone who needs fixing or look for someone who expects you to fix them. The entitlement pattern. This pattern shows up when you believe that love should feel good all the time without any effort on your side. You might think your partner should always meet your needs, make you happy, or know what you want. You may expect to receive love, attention, and understanding automatically, simply because you want it or think you deserve it. This belief often comes from unrealistic ideas we have absorbed from movies, social media, or childhood stories where love is effortless and always fulfilling. But in real life, this expectation can lead to disappointment or giving up too soon when things get difficult. You might also feel let down when your partner doesn't behave exactly how you imagine they should. So, what's the way out? Love isn't about having someone doing everything for you, it's about building something together. Take responsibility for your happiness and make sure you are showing up as the kind of partner you want to attract. Get clear on your relationship goals and be ready to work through challenges together. When both people take ownership and know what really matters to them, the relationship becomes a team effort, not a one way street. And finally, even with all this clarity, some of us try to walk this path alone. This pattern happens when you try to find love completely on your own. You don't talk to anyone about your dating life and you don't ask for support. You might feel like you have to figure everything out by yourself, and sometimes you think that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But when you isolate yourself, it's easy to get stuck in your own head and feel discouraged when things don't work out. So, what's the solution? You don't have to do this alone. Finding the right partner is easier when you have support. Talk to trusted friends, join a supportive community, or work with a coach or mentor who understand your goals. Share your relationship vision and get feedback from people who care about you. Sometimes others can see what we can't, and that can make all the difference. So let's bring it all together. The truth is, we all want connection, love, and to feel truly seen. But love doesn't thrive on wishful thinking or automatic chemistry. It grows when we show up with clarity, courage, and honesty. Understanding your requirement, needs, and wants is one of the most powerful things you can do. It shifts you from being the one who's waiting to be chosen to being the one who chooses. You stop chasing validation and start creating the kind of relationship that truly fits your life. And the best part, you don't have to do this alone. Thank you so much for joining today. At the original live session, we transitioned to the Q&A section, but due to the privacy of the attendees, I edited it out. I hope that the presentation was valuable and insightful and that you are feeling that you can go out there with more intention. And if you would like to work with me, I offer free 1 hour consultation and you can contact me through my website www.coachmoshe.com and have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.